All right, we're live, guys.
Okay.
Welcome to the Fairfield Shellfish Commission meeting, March 10th, 2021. Present are John Short, Mike Harwood, Tim Macklin, Deb Detmer, Todd Kenke, and Sean Cowan. Call to order. Do we have a quorum? Go to Bills and Communications. We have the draft meeting minutes of February 10th, 2021. Has everyone had a chance to look at the meeting minutes of February 10th?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Any changes or corrections?
None for me.
No, I have one. There was one on, just trying to find it. I mentioned 23 bags.
Okay. Did I put...
On the oyster bed. I did state 23, but the correct number is 43.
Oh, okay.
It's in Section 5 under oyster bed development.
Okay.
Got that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
None for me.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion to approve the minutes of February 10th, 2021?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 2021.
I can second that.
I'll second.
All right, so it sounds like Tim Macklin made a motion to approve, and Todd and Mike made a motion to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes of February 10th, 2021 approved. We go to committee reports. Start with clam relay and planting. No report. Once the water hits 50, we'll set up getting a relay done. That should be in May. Anything else on that?
Nope.
Nope. All right, we'll go to water and habitat quality. Deb.
All right. Okay, Deb Detmer here. The clamming beds are open as we speak on March 10th, and they've been open the whole month of February. That's all I have. I don't know about we did that DNA testing, and did we get a follow-up on that, those results?
No, we're going to do another test before we send those in.
Okay.
So we had some weather, but after the weather, I think it was got really cold. So probably the next time it rains, we should probably do another sample.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Anything from anyone else?
No.
All right. Permits and access. Go with
Looks like
Deb.
we have 87 permits were sold to date, and looking at the minutes from last month, it seems like there was a discussion about sending out an email blast regarding purchasing them online.
Yeah, I spoke to Joanne Mora, and we have access to the full list of people that bought last year and bought in previous years, which is 732 email addresses. I'd wanted to draft what we're going to send after discussing with you guys potential for the prizes that we talked about, but we have a good-sized list of people that have already bucked up before, so that's great news.
All right. Do we want to get just an email out there as to where the permits are available at the rec center and online first?
Sure, I can do that, John.
But rather than just sending one that says where they're available, I think we should probably try and use the opportunity if we're hitting them with one. If they get a second one, they may not pay as close attention as the first. I'd like the first one to have the enticement in it, unless because I feel like if I got something that came in a couple of times in a week, I'd probably just figure I already saw it.
Okay. Maybe we could do a Facebook post on where they're available.
Yep.
Are you on as an administrator on the Facebook page, Sean? Do you know?
I'm not yet. So if somebody wants to give me whatever the credentials are, I can get in there on the Instagram as well. Deborah and I were talking about doing sort of a blitz at the beginning of April.
Okay. I'll have to ask one of my children how to do that.
Now, John, if you'd like, I can do it.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, make the post. Yeah.
I can make a post on Facebook, yeah.
All right, so just confirm that we can get them. I'm pretty sure you can just walk into the rec center and get it renewed in there.
Or online.
Or online. All right, so you can do the Facebook post? And
sure,
Sean,
you'll
work. Okay. All right, that's good. All right, anything else on permit? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it for me.
Okay. Anyone have anything else on permits and access?
No.
No. All right. So go to 3A, which is Southport Beach. Mike?
Yep. So I sent out a brief email to David Carey and Alyssa Dragon, and Alyssa sent me a document which was the National Sanitation Survey, and it's 500 pages long, which was a little overwhelming. So yeah. It's good that it does have a table of contents, so I was able to kind of narrow down what pertained to us, but I was actually able to have a conversation with Alyssa about it, and I mean, it was a half-hour conversation, but it was very, very informative. It seems like we're pretty much it sounded to me like we were at first going to have like a 3-year project on this, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be it. We have a few things to do. One thing that we have that anyone requires to open up a shell bed is a survey, the shoreline survey, and we have that. So Alyssa had mentioned that there are other towns that are trying to open up beds, and their shoreline survey isn't going to be complete for a while. Ours is complete and good until the next is going to be 2027. So that puts us ahead of the curve. Once we take a look at that, we're going to need to do a memorandum of understanding, an MOU. And basically what it does is it sets, who's responsible for what, signage, and other items. And that will work with Alyssa on how we actually come to that. She said we do have one today, but it hasn't been updated in a while. There will be mapping that's needed, which would be done through her department. The good thing is that they are starting to staff up in that end, so that they'll have more people to do that. One thing, a requirement of opening up the beds is we're going to have to do 15 separate water surveys that occur after an adverse event. And an adverse event would be a half an inch of rain in 4 days. And it's ranked like day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And day 0 would be the time the rain stops. So let's say the rain starts today, March 10th, and it doesn't until 2 o'clock in the morning, March 11th. Day 0 is March 11th. And we have 4 days to actually do the testing. So we'd have to have 15 separate events for all of this testing to occur. So with that, Alyssa has actually volunteered to give us some water testing class. So she's planning in April that we can set up a date where there will be 4 of us. I figure anyone who's on, so we'll have anybody who's on the committee. So Southport Beach reopening would be myself and Sean, and then anybody else that we can get on would be good. We can have 2-3 more people, and we can send out anyone who wants to volunteer for that. Come down, be trained on the water testing, so that when we do have to take water testing, we're not relying just on conservation, and we know how to do it correctly. Mm-hmm. So I will have dates sent out for that. Let's see. What else do we have here? She's going to send me some more information. She's going to send me the shoreline survey, which I will send out to everybody. And she's going to send me some more data that had been that they have in the past. And she's also going to give me all of the testing locations that they're using. And she actually said that there's a testing location about a quarter of a mile, half a mile off the beach. And DEP will help us do testing on that if we can't get a boat to do it. The good thing is we have options on it too. We don't have to do a full opening for the full year. She said sometimes it's easier to do like a seasonal one, and I think Westport does this in some cases, where we can actually do just maybe a winter time frame, like November to March, and it may be easier for us to hit those qualifications to open it seasonally before we open it permanently, completely for recreation. So, great first step. I'll have more news for the next month, and hopefully we'll have the water testing training prior to the next meeting.
That sounds good. Mike, would you be able to find out from either Ed Jones where they get the vials from, the sample vials? Do we get those? I don't even know. Do we get those from the Milford Lab, or do we get those ourselves? So, because we're going to need a bunch of them in one of the commissioners' hands in order to do this testing.
Okay.
So, I know that we get them from Tom or wherever conservation department when we've done it on our own, but I mean that's 7 at a time. If we're going to try to expedite this and hit every event, we'll probably need to have those vials on hand.
Yep.
And we can actually also for that, when we go out there, we're writing it down as we go on the sheet. We should probably just pre-print up a sheet that has the different locations on it so that it makes it easier, and just date it up in that. And whoever took the sample put the name on it. So it's less confusing.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's pretty good. That sounds like a really good first step. Sounds like you got a lot of info.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about it. When I started reading some of that report, it sounded like it was a 3-year project, but it's not. It's 15 testings that need to be completed within 3 years, I guess, every year.
Yep. Yeah, that's what they had said in the past. And then, all right. So that's good. So you got that going. Anyone else have anything on Southport Beach?
Oh, no. You know what? I do have something. I was driving by there this week, and there was a environmental crew there, a testing crew, and they were just doing samples pretty much right near the bathroom shack of the beach, and they were testing for fill. Now, I stopped and talked to the guy there, and his uncle actually works at Norm Bloom. His name's Donald Bell, and he gave me his contact information to reach out to him. But I asked about a possible septic on the road for the beach club, and he said that the best bet, he wasn't aware of it, but the best bet was to go to engineering department within Fairfield to see if it's there. Mm-hmm. And on a separate note, when I did talk to Alyssa about the water testing, she said that they had tested right there, and I think that they did a dye flush, where they kind of flush a dye down the toilet to see if there's any seepage anywhere out, and she thinks that they're clean. But, So it's just some information that she gave me, and she's going to send me some more data that she had out there.
All right, good. Yeah, I know Don Bell with Norman.
Oh, cool.
He's a nice guy. All right, that's good. Anyone else have anything on Southport Beach?
Nope.
Nope. All right, we'll go to commercial shellfish regulations. And I think there's no report on that.
Nope.
No report.
All right, oyster bed development. Who wants to start on that?
You can fire away.
Okay.
No, you can go. I'll let you go.
Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, no, I didn't know if you wanted to start with the upwellers because that seems to be the big.
No, we have a separate committee for that now. It's item 7 in this.
Yep. Okay. No, I mean, other than oyster cell recycling is still going on. Been to down to Sasco just to kind of check where we've been laying oysters and not seeing much down there. Seeing some growth on rocks and stuff like that, but a lot of the stuff that we planted, not seeing much there. But also wanted to talk about kind of formulating our plan for the oysters that we have growing in the bags right now in South Benson and what our plan is to do with those. And if we want to just put all of those in the upwellers once those are up and running, or if we want to try to plant those someplace else as well.
We should test, like you said, I talked to Tim earlier, but, we should test to see how many of those oysters that we have grown will fit into the bottom of one of those totes. And then we could try to figure out, how if all the oysters we have are something that would go into the upwellers, or half of it goes in there and half of it we buy seed. And we really, we can go inspect our spot over there where we've been putting the oysters this year at Sasco and see where they're moving around to. We should try to pick a low tide where we can go do a survey over there. So we'll have to look at the tides and see when there's a really low tide that we can just see, like, are the oysters moving out? Are they getting covered up? Are they getting pushed in? All that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then we can decide what we can do. If we can't get seed, obviously we have plenty of our own seed there. Some of those oysters are what, an inch already, you think? In the bags?
Oh, easily. Yeah, easily.
Yeah, and they grow pretty fast. I'd say once the water starts to warm up, they get pretty big.
So
quick.
when they're in those upwellers, they're going to grow really fast. Because they're constantly being fed. So yeah, we can probably put them in the downwellers or find some good spots for them. But we should see how much of the downweller that would fill. So if we got the tote, if we get a couple totes, we could put them in the bottom one of the totes and just see how many will fit in there, and then multiply it out.
To give you an estimate on how many, so I was just doing some math on some of this. If we have the downwellers, one downweller will hold 60,000 oysters that are 12 millimeters. So to give you an idea, a dime is 18 millimeters. So if we're talking about an inch, we're probably going to have to, I'm going to guess somewhere around 30,000 that we'll be able to fit. We have 45 bags that are probably give or take 1,500 each. So from what we have there, we could probably fill 2, maybe 3 downwellers, depending on their size.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, we also have the bags hanging. We have 18 bags hanging down at Yee Yard. So we still have some spat there too. I don't know what the size of those would be.
Yeah, that we can either put on Sasco or up in the Mill River and see how it grows. It'd be nice to put it in the Mill River so we could actually see what happens with it. Putting it out on Sasco, it sort of gets rolled around and all that. If we could, what are there, 18 bags? We could put half of it over up the creek a little bit, up the Mill River, and on like a bed of shell, and just see how it grows up there. Because that's restricted relay in there.
You want to just do all 18 bags there?
We could. Yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
We'd probably have to put down, those bags are roughly half a bushel each. So we'd probably have to put down some buckets of shell before we put that stuff down so it just doesn't sink in the mud. So we probably need, 18 buckets of shell, like 18 bushel or something, to put the 9 bushel of spat-on shell on top of. That would cover, we could make a little square somewhere. We'd have to take the boat, obviously.
John, where's the area on the river you're talking about?
The area that I see that is where you can actually see the bottom at low tide is if you came down the road for Fairfield Country Club, going to their little beach area down there, right when you pass by their maintenance buildings.
Yep, I know where it is.
There's a good area of flats there. There's some mussels growing in that. That might be a good area to put down shell.
Some of those areas at low tide get completely above the water. Do you want it in one of those, or do you want it where it stays a little bit submerged?
It could either way. I mean, Ash Creek gets totally becomes dry at low tide also, and the oysters seem to grow pretty well there. So, I mean, they probably take a little bit longer to grow, but we'd at least be able to see them without having to take the boat and look through the water. But yeah, if we can find an area that, at low tide is a few inches of water, 6 inches of water or something, if we got to watch where we put them off so we can't put them in the channel, Because if we go building an oyster in the channel, we'll probably get in trouble. So if we do it up near the side, if we can find a spot with water, obviously it's probably better. But they do tend to just grow if there's subtidal or whatever. All right, so that's probably that'll probably have to happen, like, I'd say in April, early April maybe, or sometime in April when it's warm enough that we can go out there and do that, and depending on if they put the boat in the water or not. So if we can get them to put the boat in the water, then we can go do that. Unless someone...
And how do we, can we still communicate with Tom Course, or is it Ed Jones that we need to...
So today we have to communicate with, according to what Tom has said, it's probably best to talk to Ed Jones because he's the one making the decisions. So.
Got it. And then I don't think I have his information. Do you have his info? Just out of curiosity.
Mike, you have Ed's info, right?
I do, yes.
I think, we probably have to get just get his phone number. Someone needs to call him.
Yeah, I have his contact.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, or just call the office and we'll get it from you.
Okay. And that's about it, right? Ed Jones, Sarah?
Yeah, I would go to Ed.
All right. Tim, any shell out there you've been collecting, or?
Yeah, just hitting, really it's just one restaurant. It's been so slow. That one restaurant, the Oyster Bar in Black Rock went out of business or changed hands. I'm still going Bryac. I reached out to a company that does, it's like a catering, like a raw bar catering company. They do like private events and stuff like that. They're actually hooked up with Cops Island, so they do some recycling with them, but they said that they'd be willing to maybe give us some shell too, so I'm going to try to coordinate that once things start to pick up again.
Yeah, and maybe I pass by that Boca Oyster Bar daily, so maybe I'll stop in there and see if they're willing. I could grab
Yeah, we
that.
got plenty of buckets. Yeah, let me know. We got buckets in the trailer. I can grab some. I just got to get some more labels printed up.
Yeah, I only have one bucket left in my possession.
Okay, I'll reach out to the printer that did the labels and see if I can get some more labels, and then just go ahead and label some buckets.
All right. And so we know that we put out a lot of oysters this year in that area if you're at the beach to the east. And there's a lot of oysters growing at the jetty and on a lot of those rocks to the east. So there's a possibility of catching a good set this year, so we want to kind of work on getting more shell in different areas of Sasko. So we can have the same thing done where they dump the truckload of shell. That made it a lot easier.
Yeah, we got plenty of shell. So.
Yeah, I saw that pile. It's pretty big. All right. Anything else on oyster bed development?
Nope.
All right. Communications, Sean and Deb.
Alrighty. Well, Sean and I have been talking about revamping our newsletter, and he had some great ideas about it, so I'm going to let him chat about his thoughts.
Well,
Okay.
I guess my thought was the newsletter was a big, meaty thing with a lot of information in it, and I'm questioning whether people are reading through it and wondering whether or not instead of putting out a occasional newsletter, we'd be better off taking some of those snippets, the stats, the numbers, whatever it might be, and using those to feed into Facebook posts and have a more regular kind of stream of information coming out that people want to consume. So number one, it's the question of are we tied to a newsletter? And if so, do we have data on open rates or any other feedback that suggests we're getting people really using these? That's, I guess, the first question. So let's rather than saying how often we're going to send the newsletter, I guess I'm asking, do we have any data that says people like these things and we should keep them the way they are?
So I know, we have the stats on the Facebook page. They send the stats every week. As for the newsletter, Deb, where do we put that on Facebook and we put it out on our website, right? Deb, you get that?
You on mute, Deb? I can hear you.
Okay.
Deb?
Deb's there. So I think the newsletter goes out on Facebook and it goes out on our website, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it gets emailed individually to the permit holders, people on the email list.
Understood. So if we look at it as Facebook, I guess the question becomes, do we think people are reading the entire newsletter, or might we get better engagement if we chopped one newsletter into, let's call it, six Facebook posts?
Right. So we could chop the newsletter into 6 posts and also put out the newsletter. So, you could do your post like from the newsletter or whatever.
Okay.
Because I just feel like there's a possibility, and I don't know if this, how to say it, but is that some of the older permit holders may prefer to sit and read a newsletter.
Got it.
Whereas some younger people, get all their news and information a different way. So I don't know.
Understood. All
I
right.
don't know if that's true or not. I can probably ask, like Bob Billick, what he's retired and a little older in that. So do you read the newsletter, or would you prefer? Because he'll just tell, he used to be the chairman.
I think
might
we
be
said
the
a second ago. I think what you said a second ago might be the fairest thing. If we think Bob's reading it or other people are, then we'll do and. It's not or.
Mm-hmm.
We can chop it up and get additional posts. That's fine.
I mean, does that sound like it might be something that happens, or?
Newsletter?
Yeah. So I get a newsletter. I get a newsletter, and it's from the Grange in Fairfield, and the majority of members of the Grange are usually older people and I think they look forward to getting that newsletter, even though it's an actual physical piece of paper and that. But I don't throw it in the garbage. I prefer to get it online or something. But I don't know. That's what I'm thinking is that, some might like to sit down and read the newsletter over a half an hour or something and play the word search on it. So yeah, we should. My feeling is we do both. You can break down the newsletter and send it out in Facebook posts, because we do get a lot of play on like weekly Facebook posts, and then you can also post the newsletter in complete form.
Yep, I think the and makes sense. Regarding Instagram, as an example, do you guys have a sense as I've seen people with rakes about 3 o'clock in the afternoon occasionally? Do you know, is it early morning? When are people doing this? I'd like Instagram to be a combination of capturing people actually utilizing their permits, so we can put that out there and show people are doing this, group of 6, group of 4, whatever it might be. Does anyone have a sense of as to when the max usage is happening?
Usually,
what usage?
well, low tides on the weekend. Wait, you're talking about clamming?
Yeah.
Yep.
Low tides on the weekend is probably the most busiest.
Got it. Okay. So I can watch the tide charts and try and get my Achilles back in shape, jog down there, and start getting. I think the Instagram account popped up with lots of people using it.
Now, so we have an Instagram account. I don't know. Did you? Is that?
No, I know that.
The one? Oh, you
Yes.
do. So are you able to?
Nope.
Are you able to use that Instagram? Okay.
If I can get access to it, I can post to it. I'm saying this is what Deb and I have been talking about in terms of how might we have the different platforms approach what we're trying to accomplish from a different vantage point. They don't all have to be echoing the same message. They should have their different platforms. They should echo different messages.
Mm-hmm. So on our Facebook page, Eric Johnson, a former commissioner, he would put any clam-related or shellfish-related article or things that he found up once a week as a weekly post. And I know that there was a lot of action on that. So
90% of the people that use Instagram are using it for beautiful imagery. So if we can show low tide, Sasco, people out there doing things, that's what's going to start to pump up our engagement numbers.
All right, so we just got to get you access to the Instagram account.
Correct. Give me the logins. And
what the Instagram account is. Does anyone on the commission know what the Instagram account is?
No, I don't have it.
I follow it.
Yeah, I just usually tag it when I take pictures, but I don't actually have access to it.
All right, so I'll have to get in touch with Allison and find out what the story is with our Instagram page. Okay. I don't even know what it's called or anything. So,
regarding the flag, so the most straightforward, simple solution for a flat mount to the boat with the sort of a bow mount up in the front. There's one that TaylorMade makes, and they sell it through West Marine. It's $55 for a 12-inch by 18-inch American flag with the pole, with the mount, everything. It's another $15 for a cool-looking crab, exact same size. My thought is, if we want to keep things easy and get a flag that tells people what we're doing, it could be American. You could swap it out if you're in a crab mode, which is the universal shellfish sign. That would be the easiest way to get something going very fast. If we want to do a custom thing, my question to you guys is, should it be another shellfish? Do you want to go with FSC, Fairfield Shellfish Commission, something like that? Again, part of me is the easy solution can be had for $70, and we can have it on the boat in 2 weeks. If we want to go a little deeper, let me know about design-wise, if bow fits and whether you want initials or a design.
How big is the flag again?
Say again?
18 inches. How big was the flag?
12 inches by 18, and we could get 2 if you wanted to go with stern mounts, but, bow might look pretty cool as you're pulling in.
We could do 2 on the bow, can't we? One on each side?
You mean sort of split across off the bow?
Yeah.
Feels like Eddie Murphy driving into town in like a luxurious car with the flags running.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sounds kind of regal, actually.
So what's the total cost on 2 flags?
So 2 flags. See if I can get the mount separate. It's $55 for the American flag, and with the mount and the pole, and then one other flag would be $15. But if you want to get it with the mount and the pole, we're looking at let's call it another $55. So we're talking $110 total.
All right. So, Deb, in the past, haven't we? Deb, are you on?
I'm on, yep.
Okay. In the past, didn't you get information on the flag? And
yes.
Didn't we approve? We approved money for that already, right?
Yes, we did. And I did share. It was a while ago, but I had created custom flags, with our Fairfield Shellfish Commission. Mm-hmm. We can certainly do that again, but I didn't know if we wanted to go with spelling it out or do we want to go with initials.
So, what did you have? Our regular logo with the Fairfield Shellfish Commission in the circle?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be nice to have one of those flags. And
I sort of like that because it has, the clamming thing with our Fairfield Shellfish. And it's red and white or white and red, one or the other, which would complement the boat.
Right. I'd say you have to go with the red and the white. Well, we approved it so long ago, it's probably in a different year anyway, so we probably would need to approve funds.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that much more money than what we approved, but I can definitely get that information for you.
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't we just make a motion to approve some funds for this?
Yeah.
$150.
Sounds good.
All right. Someone want to make the motion, Deb?
I'll make a motion to approve the funds to purchase a flag or 2 flags. The U.S., right? The United States flag and a Shellfish Commission flag.
All right. So Deb Detmer makes a motion to approve $150 for flags for the boat. Does someone want to second that motion?
I'll second.
Tim Macklin seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved. All right. Anything else on communications?
Well, I think Sean had some other ideas about the thought just left me there for prizes for.
Yeah. So we were trying to figure out, and so this is I think the question as to what are we offering. The last call a month ago, we talked about like a T-shirt or something. I'd kind of like to bring sexy back a little bit on, if it was ever there, on a shellfish permit. And to me, there is a lot of interest in, Deb, I know, has been on some oyster tours. I've been on the ones down in Westport at Hummock, and people love those things. They send the pictures around. They take pictures with, whatever it is, all the groups that are there, people you know, people you don't know. To me, it's kind of a very immediate way to add some built-in marketing to what we're trying to do here. I don't know, go enjoy yourself on Hummock Island and then buy some permits and have your kids go rake up oysters for you and bring them home. Let you have your tour at home. It lends itself, I think, to some picturesque imagery that we can put on and say, hey, this is what the winners, either A, this is what you could get, or B, this is what they got, sign up for, oyster permits. I'd like to move into a little bit of trying to pull people with some imagery from, let's call it, having a good time around the shoreline where we all live.
So you're saying for people to meet with like one of the commissioners and clam?
No. I'm talking about saying let's buy a couple of oyster tours for Hummock or for one of the other ones around and use them as we're going to give away 2 or 3, whatever we want to, a portion to buy them from prize money, and say, hey, buy a permit, you're automatically entered, and we'll do the drawing at the end of the month and see if we can drive, 7 times the amount that we have to pay for these things. Maybe 7's a little high, but we can draw multiple of it.
Yeah. Well, John, you're trying to promote permit sales, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think, John?
Well, we're not having a clinic this year. I wouldn't say that we are. So, it is an incentive for people to want to get a permit. They see we're doing stuff like that. And how much is the tour, Sean? Because I know it's a pretty nice tour.
I know them. They charge $90 retail, but I will get us a deal. I get a deal from them every year for an all-you-can-eat, basically, with me and people I bring. So I'm going to estimate I can get 2 of them for $100.
All right. And so how do the people get the tour again?
So what we're going to, as part of the permit news, the permit email blast, we're going to have imagery on that of, let's suppose it's Hummock, and say, describe where you can buy the permits, how you can get it online, and basically say, hey, another reason to do it is this could be you, in a month and a half, and basically give some details. Here's the tour. Here's a link to what it's about. And as people look at it, rather than seeing, oh, maybe I can do that, they're like, oh, it's only $30, and I can maybe win a chance at this. Maybe that would be fun. We need some stuff to do while we're in lockdown. It's basically using, pulling them in like anything. It's not a sweepstakes, but it's the equivalent.
Right. And how do we choose a winner?
We'll have somebody not involved with this. I mean, we can just basically. I don't think we need to go too crazy. We're not Publishers Clearinghouse, but I mean something random where the names are on a sheet of paper, and we just have somebody blindfolded, poke a pin, and one of the permit buyers wins.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What does everyone think?
I like the idea.
Fun.
Yeah.
You're not
Especially
eligible. You're
not having a clam clinic.
Yeah.
Exactly. Shellfish commissioners are ineligible to win.
What?
Correct.
So, what do you think? Like 4 of these things? $75 a pop?
I mean, when you think about it, 4. The question I would say is, do we make it 2 groupings of 2, or is it basically, you're throwing the party, you get 4? I think 4 could be great. 4 could be tough to arrange. I might think two groups of 2.
All right.
Well, Sean, when they take them out on the boat, is it just 2 people that go on a tour, or is it like, what's the amount of people?
It's fantastic. So what they've got is picture the Shellfish Commission boat, make it another 8 feet long, and put it about 1.5 feet lower. So it's a really low skiff. And what they do is you go to where Elvira's used to be, down. I forgot the name of the road in Westport, right on the pond.
Mhm.
So there's that parking lot where you can go row a kayak out onto the little pond there. So you basically get a group of 12. I've been on tours as many as 16 people. And
oh, wow.
Some know, some don't. Sometimes it's all adults. I knew a guy that drove down from not new, but I met him. A guy drove down from Hartford because he had heard about this. And what you do is you wear your PPE when you get on the boat. That's their rule. And then they push off when everybody's on. It takes 4 minutes. They sort of run through the left side channel has been dredged out, so it gets pretty shallow in that area. And they drive out. You guys have seen the little shed, the little cottage out there?
Yeah.
So that thing's a historically recognized building. It's so great, and they bring you out. You bring your own beer, wine, whatever it might be. You grab an Adirondack chair. The sun is starting to go down. One of the I forget the last name, Norfolk, it's something like that. The folks that own it start discussing clamming and oystering dating back into the 1800s in this region, and how basic it's like a history lesson mixed with having a couple of drinks, and then basically they start shucking the oysters, and everybody takes their time walking over, and it's sort of as many as you can eat, and it's great. You hang out. It's a beautiful scene, and then after, it says about an hour and a half, but it's usually about 2 hours, you get back on the boat, and they drive you back in, and it's the best happy hour secret in this area, and people don't even talk about it that much because then it's starting to sell out, and then you can't go again.
Where do they park that? Do you know?
Where do you park?
Yeah.
Well, so you got to get crafty with the parking. There's a few streets that, if you have a Westport friend, ride with them because they've got a pass. There's a couple of streets that are private and you can't park, but there's a few around there that I park on that don't say private and don't say no parking, and I haven't gotten a ticket. So if you're in the off main summer season, even that little parking lot by I forgot what it's called, where you walk out to those houses, they haven't traditionally cared there if you're in like September, and they generally go May till November.
All right, Sean, do you think?
I guarantee we can get some.
Sean, in the past we've had Patagonia and we've had Nordic Fish donate prizes that we've had at the Clam Clinic. Do you think that the Hummock guys would donate maybe 2 of these, and then we'd buy 2 of them, and they would get free advertising on our Facebook page through this as well?
The answer is I think so. I can try and do an equal match. We buy and they match, and we promote them.
All right. Why don't you find out that information, Sean? If they would do that, and how much it is, so that we can next meeting approve this.
You got it.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Done.
He's not running the tours. When do you start running the tours? Not until June or so, or May?
I think they start in May. Yeah.
I believe it's May.
Yeah.
All right. So if we approve the funds in April, you get that out there. That's a good time for people to start buying their permits. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else on communications?
No. Nice job, Sean.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for your help.
Yep.
Good idea.
All right. We'll go to Don Weller's, and Mike, you can go over everything.
Yeah, so we're starting to rock and roll on this. I don't know if anyone's seen the fund balance, but it went down because we just did we sent a check to Hadco for $4,344. So we have 6 boxes that are waiting to get delivered. I'm working with Ed Jones at Conservation. He's securing a spot for them. We are able to stack them so we can do half the footprint. And he's also getting a forklift for us, which we need to receive the delivery. So sent an email to him today, spoke to him, and we're looking to just get a few dates for next week and have them in our possession. One thing that we do need that I forgot is there's a freebie on these. We get a logo on it. So does anyone have the Shellfish, the Shellfish Commission logo, the template that I can send to these guys and they can print it on these boxes?
Yeah, I think I have that because I used it for the flag if you want me to send it to you.
Oh, please. That'd be great.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't want to forget to get that.
I think I have it too for when I did the tent, but Deb, go ahead and when you might be able to find it easier than me. No. Also on the Don Weller's, so all the permitting is in, and we're waiting to hear from DEP and Army Corps, and we applied for a COP, certificate of permission, so we're waiting on that also.
Yeah. So once we get, sorry, John, are you done?
Yeah, hopefully in the next couple months we get some approval so we can get this going.
Exactly. And then that's when we're going to see there'll be more communication within the committee on this just to get things going. When we start doing the construction on this. Also looking down the road is getting seed. So spoke with Alyssa and David. Oh, I'm sorry. I spoke with Alyssa, and I also spoke with Tessa over at Sea Grant. And the only one she's aware of right now is Noank Cooperative for seed. We'll know in the next few weeks what's available out there, but we are able to. The restrictions are we can import seed anywhere from New Jersey north to Maine. And there's some like in Dennis, Mass. There's one in Southold, New York. So depending on the inventory, we'll know what pricing is. But just to know down the line, Dave Carey is going to send me any paperwork that's needed in order to do purchase and import.
All right.
What's the window for
So,
seed?
yeah.
Is it that's awesome. When's the window? Is it like, do you have to like purchase it between like in January, something like that, and then it's ready for you in like May? Is there like a time frame? I just remember you took that class, right, Mike? I can't remember like the actual time, but I know it's like you put your order in January and then you get it like in March or something like that.
You know what? I don't
know
know that. Dave Carey mentioned that in the next few weeks, but when I did reach out to Tessa responded with the NOANC hatchery manager over there. The lady, I think, is Margaret Buttermore. So she has an email today to get in touch with me, and then I'm going to try and find out, what the deal is. This is the first time we're doing this, so I think we're pretty good being in March. And we've got our own seed as well. So I'm also going to reach out to that. I'm going to reach out to Donald Bell and to see how Norm Bloom and the guys do. And John has his contacts over there. So we'll try and get more intel on, getting educated on this.
Yeah. There's also Green Wave in, what is it, North Haven or North Branford that does that, like 3D ocean farming. And I know they work with hatcheries and stuff like that, so that might be worth reaching out to.
Cool.
Yeah, and also Norm Bloom, we can go visit his operations anytime also. And he said just give him a call and he'll meet us down there. So want to see how his upwellers and downwellers work. Mm-hmm. Mike, we
might definitely want to do that before we start, construction on this.
Yeah, because I know he had one system and now he's doing a different system, but he does a lot of stuff on a boat that's parked there, so it'd be nice to see it. And he said, just call him and either Jimmy or him will meet us and show us around.
Cool.
All right. Anything else on the downwellers?
Nope, that's it. I'll send pictures when we get them.
All right.
Awesome.
Reports from the Conservation Department. It shows that we have a shellfish fund balance of $29,072.70 as of February 20th, 2021. So that's pretty good, even after spending that money. Obviously, we have 87 permits. We've been open all of February. And our budget status is status quo, as far as I know. Mm-hmm. Old business. Budget requests. Nothing on that. Review of the gathering of the Shellfish Commission. Did anyone listen in on that? A couple of weeks ago? Who's that, Sean?
Yep.
Yeah, I listened in. What did you think?
It was interesting at times, and then other times it was just it sort of unfortunately melted from one to the other. So I think there, and I didn't take notes, but there were a few folks that I thought came in. I probably should have noted which of them and tried to follow up, but it was. I'll give it a B+.
Yeah, it's about a B+. Yeah. One thing I noticed was when the towns were reporting, how many clams they put down, how many bags or whatever. I mean, it's really Westport and Fairfield that are putting down a lot of clams. Yep. Most of the other commissions was 50 bags, 100 bags, or something like that. So Westport put down 960 bushel, and we did about 250 bushel or 260 bushel. So Westport put out a lot of clams this year or last year. Other than that, they talked about the algae blooms. Not much on that, other than they said if you do see an algae bloom, to call the Milford lab or to try to take a water sample and drop it off at the Milford lab. But that was all that was interesting in that. And that was about it. So I think you can probably pick it up on, there's probably a replay of it on UConn's website. If anyone wants to spend 2.5 hours waiting for me to get on, they can. All right. New business. Nothing, right? Informational, pretty much covered all that. Any other before we begin?
Hey, John, what might be interesting is can we do some kind of sampling of shellfish down in Southport Beach? I mean, we don't. It'd be funny to see how much stock we have there, and kind of if there's a way to compare it to, we're doing all these relays, we're doing all these plantings in Sasco, just to see how Southport measures up.
Well, we can go out there and try to dig clams anytime. Is that what you're talking about?
Why don't we do that? Yeah, why don't we, a bunch of us go out there and go for, an hour and just see how many we get?
There's
to kind of get a sample.
No one's really clammed there for 15 years or something like that. So there could be a lot of clams there. Who knows?
Yeah,
we could do
have
that.
no idea.
I think it's interesting to do.
Sure.
All right. Well,
why don't we aim towards
the
end of April?
Yeah. Look for a really good low tide so we could get out and cover a lot of area.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right.
Yep.
Good. Yeah. Anything else before we close?
I guess, are we preparing to do the Memorial Day parade?
Is there a parade?
Yeah.
There's a parade scheduled?
I don't know. I'm asking. Is there going to be a Fairfield Memorial Day?
Mike, have you got any emails on that?
Betsy Brown usually sends something to me. I haven't gotten anything. I can reach out to her.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they're having a parade this year. I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
Well, you know what? In the past, I'll tell you what, she has given us a spot, too, in the past, just assuming that we were going to march again. So I wouldn't worry about losing the spot.
Okay. So if there is a parade, do we want to be in the parade again?
I would say yes, right, with our flags and everything.
Okay. Mike? Tim?
I think so, especially not having a clam clinic. Any publicity we could get would be good.
All right. So if there's a parade, we'll plan on being in the parade again.
Cool.
All right. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Sean, second?
Yep. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye now.
Thank you.